This is a short tutorial on how to set up the restrictions on your iPads. I know there are teachers out there who would like to use their iPads more, but sometimes maybe feel a little uncomfortable just giving the iPads out to students, maybe not knowing what they can get into and can't get into. Restrictions isn't a save-all for what they can do on the iPad, but it can keep them out of a few things that maybe you would like to. So I'm going to show you how to set up restrictions on your iPad right now. Now for this tutorial, I actually don't have an iPad up here right now. These are just pictures of what you'll see as you're going through the process of setting up your restrictions. But if you have an iPad in front of you, you can look along at what I'm doing and set up your restrictions with me as I show you the steps for it. So first what you'll do is on the home screen here, you'll click on the settings application and that will open this up. So now you'll be in the settings application, which has a lot of things like airplane mode here on the left, turning on and off the Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth, wallpapers, sounds, all the different things you can do in general settings. If you click on general right here, that'll pull up what I have on the right side, all these options. And if you actually take this page and scroll the right side of it down, you'll get to the restrictions. So down here below mute, usage, auto lock, right here below that is restrictions, and we're going to click on that to set these up. Now if you have not set up restrictions yet, at the top here it'll say enable and restrictions, and you'll notice that at the bottom all these things are faded out. We can't really change these yet. So yeah, if you have not set up any restrictions, okay, this is by clicking enable restrictions, this is how we'll be able to access those things and turn some on and off. So you'll click that at the top here, enable restriction. And then what should pop up is this window here that says set passcode. It says at the top here, enter a restrictions passcode, or it may say setup. Again, if you haven't done this before, this is what should come up for you. You're going to make a passcode to access the restrictions section. This is different than your passcode to enter in the actual iPad to log on to it from the lock screen. That, you know, students might know that one so they can get in, but definitely make your restrictions passcode a different passcode. Otherwise, it'll defeat the purpose, and they'll be able to go in and change the restrictions as they want to. So you'll pick some 4-digit number, whatever it may be, 1, 2, 3, 4, and usually I think it does ask you to enter that again. So you may have to re-enter it just to confirm that that's the passcode you want, but definitely make sure you do remember this passcode so you can go in and alter the restrictions as you need. Once you've made a passcode, all these things that were faded out before will now appear brighter here and able to change. And all these buttons over here are what control these apps that we have. And I'll just move this out of the way. So like for example, if you want to turn Safari off, you would click on this button right here and that'll turn Safari off from the students being able to use it. It just won't even show up on the home page where all the apps are. Same thing with camera and FaceTime, installing apps, deleting apps, and any other ones that might show up here. Just as a recommendation, I like to turn the camera off and FaceTime off, because otherwise I feel that's stuff maybe students could get into, take pictures that I don't want them to. And if you do turn it off and you want to use it later again, you can definitely enable the camera, but for most things we do in my class, we don't need the camera. So I usually turn that off and maybe some of the installing and deleting apps. When you click on these in green, I'll show you what it's going to look like. So how I know that these restrictions are off now is, as opposed to being green here by the button, as you can see, like the camera, if this person has turned off Safari, then it won't show up green anymore. So that means that Safari wouldn't show up on the home page anymore. That app won't even be accessible. And if they've turned all these off as well. So that's what it looks like when you turn them off. Just while I'm on this page too, if you want to turn the restrictions off in general, again, you just go back to disable restrictions, and you'll be able to put the passcode in and turn off all restrictions if you want all the apps that are off to come back. I'll show you a few other things you can do too. If you scroll down, oops, I can't actually scroll down, but if you scroll down on your iPad on the right side, another one I know that I've seen teachers use before too is this restrictions to websites. If there's certain websites you don't want students going into, or certain types, you can click on websites here, and this window will come up that tells you either it's allowing all websites or it wants you to limit certain ones that maybe specified as adult websites, or you can even pick out specific ones that you can type in and say don't allow students to visit these. Once you've chosen some options for this, you can click on restrictions up here and that'll get you back to our main choices, and it'll bring this page back up for you as well. One more option I'll just show you too, if you scroll down here again on the right side, is some of these also, you can turn off some of these other applications so that students won't be allowed to make changes to them, like the accounts one here. If you click on that one, that'll make it so they can't actually change into different mail accounts on the app that shows mail on the home page. So playing around with a lot of these, there are some different things you can turn on off as well. And going through these, I'd be glad to help you with any as well too, if you're interested in seeing how some of these work as well. And one last reminder too, before you finish making all your changes, I would definitely close this app out. Remember to double click the home button, and then make sure you close out the app too, just so students can actually log into the restrictions then once you have set them already. So I hope that's helpful to set up some restrictions for your iPad. And again, there's a lot of options in there I can help you with as well if you like some more help, but there's a brief way to set up at least a few things so the students maybe can't get into everything on the iPad that you would like them to not get into.